Hello and welcome to another update video on Ethereum. So the Ethereum chart is currently still holding our support area. It remains located between $3,374 and $4,061. We are now in this support zone, and I mean, where do we come from? I know people are getting very bored at this or from this price action, and that is kind of normal because the thesis is that we're in a fourth wave. And that's not new. We've been talking about this for a while, right? And we've been talking about it for a long time that we could be in a fourth wave correction indeed. And that continues to be my view. There's no reason to change this perspective. When we started this correction back in August, the idea was that the market could go all the way down to the 50% retracement. So we already factored in a potential correction of around 30%. This is what Ethereum sometimes does in a bull market, yeah? We did factor that in because these support levels were on the chart already back in August. And educational moment here, in any wave 4, even in an impulse, we need to allow the market to retrace all the way down to the 50% retracement level if needed. Doesn't mean this always has to happen. But this is a very, very important support level because any wave 4 needs to hold the 50% retracement, in this case, 3,374, to keep the bullish perspective alive. Okay. Now, in between, we've got the 38.2 retracement at $3,665. And this is normally what we would call the ideal support level for a fourth wave. That's a difference because 50% is sort of the maximum, not the real maximum. It's not invalidated below, but the probabilities are changing so significantly that I would normally not call it anymore a fourth wave if it breaks below that 50% retracement. Yeah. So the 38.2 retracement is an ideal target, and again we've reached it, and that means we had to allow for a correction of round about 25%, and that happened, yeah? Even a bit more, obviously, nearly 30%. But it's all happening within the normal parameters of what such a wave 4 correction should normally do. So nothing unusual, but obviously still quite deep and also very long, in duration, very, very draining. People get bored, people leave the market, or they rather watch the gold chart, right? Maybe they bought the top and now gold corrected as well. Anyway, I just want to highlight here, this is what a wave 4 would normally do. We're not doing anything unusual here at the moment, yeah? What I am watching for, though, is also a sign that this correction could be over and we're starting the next leg up, labeled wave 5. What would be the first real signal on this time frame? And this here is the 4-hour chart, actually. Well, on this time frame, I mean, you see already the trend line. I guess a break above this blue trend line would help, but really what matters is a break above this green line, which is located just above $4,400, and it's where the selling pressure started to come in on the 10th of October, before this, well, exactly when this selling started, and when it took the price down to $3,466 here on the index chart. So a break above 4,400 would therefore mean that, well, something is shifting again. Yeah, we might get back into an uptrend. For now, the pressure appears to be downward, but the potential is still that we find support in this region because there's no reason currently to change the perspective. The move to the downside doesn't look exactly impulsive. It looks corrective. I mean, we have overlapping price action here everywhere. Yeah, there is no clear downtrend. Just a pullback in an uptrend. At least that's the current perspective. But again, if you feel bored, and I see it, people engage less, they're less active. If you feel bored, then the wave 4 is just doing its job. It's normal. And it rather confirms our view. So here you can see everything zoomed in. You can also see what would happen if we get another low. I need to start to shift everything to the right now because obviously the market is asleep, right? We'll shift everything to the right. Price hasn't moved, but time has moved on. Let me just shift everything here to the right. But basically while I do this, the idea is, right, that we could still follow this wide scenario to higher prices, you know that, potentially even towards $5,200, $5,800, but we first need to complete this correction. Now, what I said to you in the previous updates is that we see more 5-wave movements to the upside than to the downside. Why is that important? Because the 5-wave move indicates where the trend is going. Still skeptical about it because we haven't broken any resistance, but we have here possible 5 up, 3 down, possible 5 up, 3 down. It's difficult to read though, this price action, but also this was a possible 5-wave move up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, into the swing high of the 20th of October, and then A, B, C to the downside. That is an expanded flat pattern, a typical Elliott wave structure. And overall, this, however, fits still within a sideways consolidation pattern. As you can see, we haven't really tried to break out yet. And that's why I think, even if I see 5 waves to the upside here and there, yes, we're holding support and we're not breaking below any support levels. We haven't formed the lower low yet, but we're all still, we're still moving in a range. And therefore, all of these movements are, well, nice to observe and good for education and everything. And some of you might even be trading these movements. But most people, if they trade movements like these, will lose money because in sideways ranges, a lot of traders get chopped. Yeah, a lot of portfolios get chopped. And so in sideways ranges, normally it can make sense to in sideways ranges, it can make sense to focus more on capital preservation, right? Focus more on capital preservation, and what can I say? It's not an exactly strong trend at the moment. We're waiting for a breakout. Now, the first indication that we're breaking out, for example, to the upside would be obviously a move above $4,022, then the trend line, which is coming in around 4,050, and then we can start to focus really on higher prices. I added earlier today in the member update here this micro support area, which is between $3,852 and $3,914. This is micro support. It's holding right now, and this is for a possible 1-2 setup to the upside. And the invalidation point for this would be at the $3,810 level. So yeah, that's the update on Ethereum. That should give you a good idea of what's likely going to happen going forward, the levels to watch and so on. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you're interested in additional updates, then make sure you also check out our X channel for additional charts, news, updates, videos. Sometimes videos are found there earlier than on YouTube and so on. Coins that we normally don't cover here. And I'll leave a link for you guys in the comment section. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.